Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Arts at EPCC. My name is Dr. Yasmine Flores, and on the show today with me is Melissa Sanchez from Continuing Education.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Thank you for coming. And kind of last minute, I just thought of this. So we do a lot of recruiting in music. And the question that pops up a lot when we go out to different places, high schools, or even events at Valle Verde, is, well, thank you for the brochure, but actually I have a daughter that's 6 years old and wants to take piano. What can they do? We offer courses for little kids, don't we?
We sure do. Yes, we do. So we've been offering them for quite a while now. And for children, it's under the Children's College Department, and we offer for children ages 5 to about 17.
Wow.
We have a wide spectrum of courses, and one including piano as under the arts, and then we also have guitar for children and for teens. And so we have them generally in the spring and in the summer, which is our big obviously our big enrollment, because the kids are out of school and they're looking for something to do.
Right.
So we'll go in depth even into sports, some dance, which includes hip hop classes, ballet classes. Yeah, and then the sports, like I mentioned, we have gymnastics. That's pretty popular, and kinder gym. And then they go into back in the fall again. So every semester we offer those courses for the children, and in the fall and spring, they're typically on Saturdays. That way, it doesn't conflict with their schedule during the week.
Right, and that's important to know, because you're so right. And I know this about high school students, but now it's trickling down to middle school and elementary, is that they've got them so active Monday through Friday, right? In the fall and spring, that it's like, if they want personal enrichment courses themselves, like piano, like dance, right? They don't have time for it. They have to do it on Saturday. Now, so fall and spring weekend, summer weekdays and weekend.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. Now, if I am not an EPCC employee, if I am just interested in, and I'm not familiar with the college and I'm not familiar with the website, how do we find these courses?
Yes, of course. So it's available two ways online. So it's on the www.epcc.edu. You can look for it there.
Okay.
And then also we still do a printout, an actual catalog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that you can usually find it when it's available, obviously on campus. And we typically distribute those within the community. It just depends, if you get one or not. Some we get to pick zip codes and which one gets a catalog, but the easiest way is either online or you can come in person at any campus to pick up a catalog.
Right, excellent. And so www.epcc.edu, and you go to academics and you go to catalogs. And
there's several ways you can get to it, but yes.
Right. And so under catalogs, if you kind of search, because there are, of course, don't get confused, there are two different sets of catalogs. There's the regular course catalog for adults, which is your actual college courses that are paid for, like you're going to college, you're getting your AA degree or you're getting your AAS. And then if you kind of scroll down, you'll find the children's, or rather continuing
Right,
ed.
it's under the broad area of workforce and continuing education.
Yes, exactly. So continuing education, and then you look at that catalog and you'll find an area in the catalog for the children's college.
That's correct. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
And so some of the classes that I've seen over the years, and you have to understand, it's so interesting at EPCC how it works. We are Monday through Friday folks. Right? So I obviously there's not a clocking out machine, but I sort of feel like I'm clocking out. The phones turn off at 6 p.m. The light on the phone. I don't know if you've ever been around long enough to know that. But I'm in my office, and right at 6 p.m., all the lights to all the telephones, they turn off. But it still works, but for some reason it flickers off. And so And so then I pack up, I go home, and things happen on the weekends that we're not aware of, right? And so unless we pop in on a Saturday and we kind of see things going on, and I'm like, there's children running around, there's a piano class, I can hear people singing, you know, in our general area. So tell me all, if you can, because there is a lot, tell me all the different arts. You have obviously the music classes. What goes on in the art department?
As far as the Children's College. So in the art department, we do have some basic drawing.
Okay.
We do have that, you know, we have them on different workshops. We have, you know, during the summer, they change. So every semester you might get, we'll have something different for them.
Sure.
And, you know, more for them to be engaging and, you know, for them to have fun while they take these classes. So they have the drawing. We also have under the music, or we have I mentioned the guitar, piano, obviously, and we've had some other classes. You know, just depending on the trend and you know what is needed and what the committee is seeking, we can definitely offer those as well. But those seem to be the ones that are kind of ongoing that a lot of students are interested in.
Right. And then on the dance side, you mentioned the dance side earlier.
Yes. So on the dance, we have the hip hop and then the ballet classes as well.
Okay,
those
wonderful.
are the ones that are pretty popular, and we have those ongoing as well.
Out of curiosity, do you have anything for theater?
The theater, no, we don't. We used to, but now we're not currently offering that right now.
Okay, got it. So it just kind of varies semester to semester.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, got it. And so let me ask you, so just so that everyone understands the broad umbrella that is continuing ed, and we will probably have a few other folks from your area coming on the show to talk a little bit more about continuing education. Continuing education is its own umbrella, and within that, some of you all know, one of my colleagues here at the college is the famous Mary Yanez, who does her own show here. We were just mentioning her a moment ago, and her show's been on for over 25 years, and congratulations to Mary on that. That's a really awesome milestone. So she handles the senior adult.
Correct.
And then there's the regular adult classes. What are the age groups within continuing ed?
So under continuing ed, aside from Children's College, I got the 5 to 17, and then we have our personal enrichment classes.
Okay.
Those are also where we have those areas. We have music, dance. We also have drawing classes. We have flower arranging classes. So it varies. Yeah, it varies.
Yeah.
And those are ages 17 and above.
Okay. All right. What is the qualifying age for senior adult?
You know what? I might have to double check with Mary, but I want to say 55.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And so as we all approach, we're all approaching that as well. So, you know, so I might be joining the knitting club, right? And remember, I have forgotten I used to know how to crochet when I was younger, and I've lost that skill.
Oh, really? Well, we have it under the personal enrichment.
How about that? How fun. Okay.
Yes. So
I made some very ugly Afghans, now that I think about it, with some very hodgepodge colors that, but they're warm, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. And so now within the Children's College, you say 5 to 17. Is that broken down further? So is there like a kinder class?
Yes. So
okay.
So yeah, we do have them broken down by ages. We group them by their ages. For instance, we have the ballet classes. We have pre-ballet for 5 and 6, and then we go on to ballet 1 for 7 to 10 years of age.
Okay.
So we do have them break them down by that those ages, and really the only requirement for anyone who's interested in enrolling is just the age, that they meet the age.
Okay.
And then like the piano, we do have that one starting at 8 years old, and it goes all the way up to 16, 17. So they continue on, and they keep on enrolling. They register as young as 8, and they just continue on till they graduate from high school. Even.
Right. Yeah. And so we've had so many folks that started in that continuing ed program. Dr. Vasquez, who's actually our orchestra director here at EPCC, started in the continuing ed program and took personal enrichment classes when she was very small. And so she was very familiar with the college when she arrived here. And so, you know, those are perfect classes to get you started in the arts. And then, of course, at 18, we want to get you on the AA and the AAS side, right?
Yes, well, that's the whole point.
Exactly.
We want to make sure, you know, when they come as little as 8 years old, you know, we want them to feel like this is also their, you know, their college. Right. You know, have them be aware of what's available for them, and, you know, continue that. You know, that for them to come and feel comfortable and say, you know, I can't come to college. I can continue, you know, and register and look forward to register and continue to an AA program as well. And so now they don't get grades, right, in these courses. Right, they don't get per se a letter grade like an A, B, C, but they do get a credit, or, you know, if they continue with the class, then they meet all the expectations and they attend the classes, they'll receive a credit, and they can all receive a certificate of completion as well.
Oh, how cute.
Yes,
that's
so it's
awesome.
a little, something to look forward to, an achievement that they, you know, I completed this class, and with their certificate at the end.
How fun. So classes come and go. Are they 16-week? 16-week fall and spring, or does it just kind of depend?
It just kind of depends on the class. So every class has what we call contact hours. So depending on the contact hours, like for instance, the piano, that's a 9 contact hour. So it goes on for 9 weeks. They meet once a week on Saturdays. So they'll finish the 9 hours.
And they literally meet for an hour.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it. And so on average, what is the tuition for the kids?
On average, it really depends on the contact hours, right? So it just depends on the contact hours. So depends, it'll go up it'll start like at $60 all the way to maybe $100, just depending the length of the program. I see. And that's not bad. And it gets them out of the house. It gets them to learn a new skill and something very different. There's no letter grade attached, right? There's no stress. Oh, no. It's all for them to have, you know, fun and meet different students, you know, in the community, and get together and do something fun and what they can eventually have a passion of once they get, you know, when they get older.
That's awesome. Now, performances for music and for dance, where do they occur, or how, I guess, I don't know how you all advertise them, or is it just kind of within the class that everyone is told, like, tell your parents we're going to perform on such and such date? Is that kind of handled internally, or is that...
Are you saying performing wide or
like performances?
Okay,
like if the dance troupe wants to put on a little production.
Yes. So yeah, it can be internal. The regular semesters, you know, if like the guitar and the piano, they do have their recitals at the end. So at the end of semester, the last class, they'll invite the parents to come on in and to perform for them.
Yes.
You know, like a recital for them, so they can, you know, learn, present what they learned. And then typically in the springtime, we do get involved with the Spring Arts Festival. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but yes. So we'll put on a performance there through the Fine Arts Department, and we host a recital, and that would include mainly the dance, the visual, mainly like the ballet. The ballet classes and the hip hop classes.
Oh, how fun! That's too cute.
And that one we do a little more advertising and inviting the parents and the extended family as well. You know, because we typically have that in an auditorium per se here at the Administrative Service Center. That way we can have them as well join and see what they learned throughout the semester. So that's always something to look forward to. Right.
That's wonderful. And I know Caroline Wolf-Gurley is the one that's responsible for the Spring Arts. Now, a few years ago, I don't know what's on the slate. Everything post-pandemic has sort of been very... we're still trying to get everything kind of grounded back to where we had it. But I remember that there was a weekend where there was, do you all do the kitty corner? there's a kiddie corner that was...
We did,
okay.
yes, we did get it on the kiddie corner. That was typically held at the Valle Vedre.
Yes.
Yes, at the Cafe Annex. So we do have a booth there, and we'll give out, you know, advertisements, and, you know, we are actually looking forward to do something like that in the future. That way you can continue that and advertise and, you know, get the word out as well. But
absolutely,
we have been involved in the kiddie corner as well.
Okay, awesome, and that's terrific. And so I mean, this is logistics, inner logistics that you are now privy to at home. But so I would love to get brochures for you guys, because you know, whenever we go out to recruit, that is a big question. And of course, people are asking us about music, but then also sometimes they'll ask us about the other areas, like what else do they offer? And it's such an interesting divide in the college, right? It's like the weekday versus weekend folks. And so I do tell them, because I've obviously worked with you all before, and I do tell them, you know, a little bit about what you all offer, where you all are located. Now, are you all only at Valle Vedre?
Yes, currently we are only at Valle Vedre. We do offer majority of the classes, but I am looking into expanding and going to maybe a Mission, since there's a lot more, you know, the population, you know, it's growing out there in that side of town. So I'm looking into doing maybe some guitar classes over at our Mission Del Paso campus.
Wonderful. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that in the summer. We'll probably be doing some more expanding in the summertime.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm very glad to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, so you all at home, if you don't know this, we have 5 campuses at, well, 6 if you include the administrative services building, which I should, because there's the B building with culinary, right? There's culinary, and of course Mariana's is located down there as well, and the continuing ed offices and all that. And so 6 if you count Viscount, but yes, Valle Vedre is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, along with RG.
The Rio Grande.
Yes, the Rio Grande campus. And so Valle Vedre is the largest campus, and so it's kind of the main hub for a lot of different programs. So I don't know if there's anything that you would like to add to all of this, because we've talked about tuition, we've talked about you know, some of the classes what do you all project for spring? For this upcoming spring, are there any new classes that you're adding? Actually,
you know what I do have in particular? I do have, so spring registration starts December 5th.
Awesome.
So that will start at December 5th for continuing education. And then classes will start January 21st.
Right.
And what we have new this semester, our spring semester, is a 3D printing. For kids. Yeah.
Oh, how fun.
I know that the Makerspace has been, you know, pretty, you know, popular and interesting, you know, what they're doing over there. I went to a workshop and I was just like, wow, you know, this is what it's, I didn't know what it was about until I actually went to one of the workshops, and I thought, wow, you can really do this with this 3D printing? And so I was pretty amazed, and that's when I thought, oh no, I need to offer, you know, more of, well, you know, in children and see how that does, because I do see it out there, you know, all the science and technology, you know, kids are into that right now. So that is one of the new classes that I am gonna offer in the springtime, which is in January.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. And you're right, the Makerspace, if you all are not aware, we have this thing called Makerspace. And they have a 3D printer.
Yes.
I personally have not gone up there. I would like to. I've not set aside time to run up there and see. But I see the posters everywhere, and it is very popular. Essentially, you can create almost anything that in three-dimensional form, to include musical instruments, to include FYI, project, right, for little kids. And I know, it is Maria Alvarez at TM, for example. I remember I was working with her. She used to have a science camp that she would do in like July. And they had created these little ocarinas. They were little musical instruments. I think she had she did. She, or still does, she has a small 3D printer over there. And so she'd created these things for the students to take a look at, and they were just fascinated by just watching the machine make it.
Right.
Right? Like, you know,
yeah, it's just amazing. It is.
It is.
Wow, yeah.
And so I do remember that. And she said, look, I could create these little musical instruments as well. I've seen all sorts of things. And it's crazy because these are the things that people spoke of 30 or 40 years ago.
Right.
Right? To include cell phones. That's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother episode. But I remember, just thinking back, at first they talked about adding a screen to telephones, which they did for like a year. There was these telephones that were hardwired, right, with a landline. And there was a little screen that would pop up and you could see the person, and then cell phones came out right afterward. And it was the camera, and it was, you know, everything. And so likewise, 3D printing was this thing, and now they're making houses out of it.
Are they? I haven't heard of that yet. Wow. Because I know I went to a workshop and you know, I was just blown away, but I know there are just so many things that I probably wouldn't like to take a classes myself.
Sure, I know, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, there's just so many, you know, so many things. And I know when we went, you know, just the things that they can make and be creative and use their imagination. So we're hoping to do, you know, when we have the class, that they're able to come with those imaginations and, you know, and create something, you know, that they can visualize and actually print it out.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So we're looking to doing that. And, you know, I want to work with the instructor faculty very closely to see what it is that, you know, we can do. And then, of course, continue to offer it and go on through the, you know, following semesters.
That's awesome. Now, Melissa, how many years have you been with the college?
Okay, are you cleaning part-time or full-time?
Oh my goodness!
I guess I was here also part-time, but I would say altogether, I would say now 15 years.
Wow, that is a long time. That's awesome. And so how has continuing ed evolved for you in those 15 years?
Well, one I can say is this whole online registration.
Right.
So that's another, you know, because before there was no online. I would say maybe 6 years ago, something like that.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So now we do the online registration. You can go on through Web Banner and register, but keep in mind that online registration is only for students that are returning.
Right.
So if you're a first-time student and you've never registered with Continuing Ed or Children's College, you will have to fill out a continuing education registration form.
Where do they find that?
They can find that on the catalog.
Okay.
They can find it on the catalog, or also when you get online.
Okay.
On the EPCC website.
Okay.
They can find it there. And they can fill out the PDF and send it to admissions, or they can print it out and bring it on by at any of our campuses.
Oh,
but
wow.
that is for first-time students. We will have to fill out a registration form.
Okay. So to be pretty specific, epcc.edu / and it's just epcc.edu. Go to the academics, click on that. You'll see catalogs. You go to the catalogs and schedules. Scroll down, continuing ed, click on that, and somewhere in that booklet there's an application form in PDF.
Yeah, you're typically at the end.
Okay, at the very end.
Yeah, at the very end.
Print it out, write it, take it to any admissions, regular admissions.
Regular admissions at any of our 6 campuses.
Okay, awesome. And so from there, that's how they get started, and then I guess they receive probably an email or...
Right, they'll send an email. Well, if they come in person, they obviously will get registered right then and there, and they'll get a student ID, just like any other student. Yeah, so they'll get a student ID. And once they get that student ID and they want to register in the future, then they can take advantage of the Web Banner. Because they'll ask for the student ID and then their PIN, and they'll be able to register on the Web Banner. Okay,
let me explain what Web Banner is to folks.
Okay.
It's so funny because this is all of our EPCC jargon.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And we forget that people at home are like, the web what?
Right, right.
So we have an internal system at EPCC that is used, actually many schools use it, for enrolling in classes. When you turn in that application to admissions, they should be contacting you with the information that you provided, which hopefully you provide an email, and they'll give you the ID number. And so the first time you log in, I don't know if you have to be on campus to log in or if you could just do it from home.
Oh, you can do it from home.
Perfect.
Yeah, definitely you can do it from home.
Okay, so you log in from home. They'll have you create a password. And when you get into the system, you wind up going through, you can actually get to Web Banner from the main page, from the epcc.edu, or you can go to the my.epcc.edu, either or, and get into that. And then you click on registration. You can look up at the course lookup, right? And then you will scroll through. It'll ask you for the semester. You'd be looking into spring of 23 at this point. And then personal enrichment, right? Scroll all the way down.
Personal enrichment or children's college as
Children's college. Okay, perfect.
And you'll have it there, and you'll have it listed by sports, academic enrichment, the arts, performing arts. So it'll have them by those subjects, by that category. And then you can just click there, and then it'll list all the classes that are available. Okay,
that's awesome. And then they click on that, and they'll pay the bill on a different tab, and they're ready to go.
Right. Once they click on it, and it's been a while, but once they click on it, it'll take them to, like you said, another window. And it says, if you're ready, click back that you completed your registration, and then they'll take you to another window. I believe and then after that will be the TouchNet, which is the payment process, the tuition process.
Sure.
Once they in that window, then they'll be able to complete the registration and submit their payment online.
Wonderful. That's awesome. And if they have any questions, what is your email?
My email is msanc201@epcc.edu.
Wonderful. And of course, the telephone number is on the catalog as well, and they can call that number if they have questions. And we will be more than happy to assist you. And I would just like to say thank you so much for coming on the show today and talking to us about all these wonderful classes.
Yes, no, thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. I need to probably have Mary Agnes on the show at some point, which will be a joy, because I started, the first time I ever came to the studio was on her show.
Okay.
And so she has, of course, the beautiful sofa. We've not graduated to that yet.
Oh, okay.
The show. We have a plant. That is what we're very excited about. We've added a plant to the show some time ago. But yeah, she's a joy to speak to as well. And of course, Leticia will also be the person.
Yes, she's the director for continuing education.
Okay.
She handles more of the adult side, and she handles the area for personal enrichment and business. We also have business courses and technical education.
Wonderful. Leticia Guerra is the person to contact for those courses. Well, again, thank you.
Of course.
And we look forward to seeing all of your beautiful children at the Children's College in spring and in summer. If you have any questions, you can also contact me at yflore14@epcc.edu. Thank you again, and take care, everybody. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.